Alright, getting ready for a ride. Let's get this thing warmed up. Gonna go meet Dan and Abby this morning. And should be a good ride. Oh, this is what I've been waiting so long to do. Just be able to take off. The kid's grown up, she's getting married. Now the empty nester will have a life. Gonna be a transition from switching from being dad all the time to going out and having some adventures and getting back on two wheels, which is my love of all time. Love my Climb gloves. Gosh, I'm glad I bought these. All right, cold bike on a beautiful Oregon day. Got bugs from my last ride that I didn't clean off. Shame on me. Alright. Let's get rolling down the driveway. Let this thing warm up. Got the two-way radio on. I'm still waiting for the rest of my stuff. I've kind of gone crazy since I decided to get into adventure riding. I've got wonderful friends that have been giving me some tips and pointers of what they've done to their KTMs. So I've got this thing pretty well planned out. I need the double take mirrors still. I want to do that. I bought a Garmin XT from friends that I need to get installed. Let's see, I think we're warm enough. Let's get rolling. Alright, and the KTMs are off. Okay, we're off. We're in Weimar, Oregon. And we're going to take a route that I haven't taken before, so I'm going to be learning a new road, new part of Southern Oregon while I learn the 890. Again, I'm with two amazing friends. They're just awesome people. Abby on her 790 adventure that they've got dialed in, and Dan on his 1290 adventure, same thing. They've learned so much, and they've really invested in making their bikes wonderful. So they're a pool of knowledge that I'm fortunate to be able to draw from. This is a road, just like so many in this country. So nice and windy and beautiful road, but it's residential, and you have to remember that, to respect it. Don't go flying through here like it's a race and end up crashing into somebody or crashing yourself out. There's animals with rocks. There's cars pulling in and out of driveways. So we could go a whole heck of a lot faster than we're going, but thankfully I'm with two very responsible people, keeping it under control, which I love. I'd much rather live a long life and enjoy this for a long time. I'm back with you, riding this kind of mixed. It's part of it's got some good grip in the gravel, and then you hit these slick wet spots where there's a lot of that red clay that's washed into the road, and it's just slime. blast. I am so glad I got the KTM. This thing handles like it's 100 pounds lighter than it is. I mean, by no means is it a 300 EXC, but wow, I'm impressed. And this kind of sounds weird. I love the dual sport style helmet, the adventure helmet, but places like this I would just love to have a goggle. And I almost brought my goggles too. The only thing that's bothering me is the shield. When it's up all the way, it just hangs a little bit in your vision, but no big deal. The fly helmet's comfortable. But man, learning so much right now. I feel like I'm in class. The earplugs I'm using are on a string, which sounds like a great idea, but the string's hung up in my jacket, and if I turn my head, it yanks it out of my ear. That's a lesson. Let's see. What else? If you've got the money, spend the money on good gloves. That's a given. And it's kind of a silly conversation to have. You spend a bunch of money on a premium motorcycle like a Adventure R, and to do that, then cheap out on your gear, you know, it's the essential stuff, not the $1,200 climb jacket, but gloves and boots and helmet. You know, at least get good basic gear. The rest of it, you know, grow into it. But I think that was an intersection. I think Abby knows this better than I do probably, but we'll hang out. All right. Man, I love this. This is where you can go slow and take it easy. Get a little more aggressive if you've got the skill. This is great stuff. And I'm in no big giant hurry. Woo! Almost lost the front end. Dirt bike riding. Love it. You know, and that's another important thing. I've been riding since I was 4 years old. I was a little guy. And I'm okay on a bike. I'm confident. But I don't know this bike. And I'm just learning it. You know, you don't have a bike mastered in 300 miles. There's no way. So little things like feeling the limits of a front end, feeling what that tire's doing. Take your time. Don't get cocky because you used to tear it up in the woods with your buddies on your CRF 450, and you think you can just apply that instantly to this, you know, almost 500-pound motorcycle. That ain't happening. But, you know, those skills, they help, but take your time, get used to this. I'm sure a lot of you are in the exact same boat I am, in your 50s, heck, in your 60s, maybe even your 40s, who knows. And you go out and you spend money on a really awesome bike. Got that new BMW, the Tenere 700, because it's an amazing bike too. And you want to just start whipping it around like it's your old 450 or 250 from back in the day. It's just not a good idea. Take it easy. Ooh, little stick there. Get to know what your bike's going to do and be comfortable with it before you start pushing it. Yeah, now we're into this granitic soil that's just a little bit loose so you can play, but it's got a little more grip. Soaks up the moisture real good, doesn't get slimy. So I like it a lot. A little more predictable than just gravel going. What's that?
The rock thing, 665.
Okay. Or the campground. Cool. Yeah, we all know this area pretty good. Coming here for 30 years. Riding dirt bikes and little get-togethers with the radio group. We do GMRS radios. That's what that is right there. And I've got repeaters up on the mountains, and that's kind of nice. Nice to have some communication out here. Although I'm really pumped now with the new iPhone and its ability to connect to satellites for text messaging in emergencies. I'm pumped. I was able to, from right up here, Tuesday, send a message to my kid, got a reply, everything's good. That made me happy. That was the road. Maybe he's going to, he's going to a different gravel pit. Okay. So the gravel pit I was assuming is not the one he was thinking. There's more than one gravel pit. Nice dry paper. The other thing about being on roads like this back in the forest that, you experienced guys are completely aware of, but, getting back into this and being new, all this little green moss on the side of the road, sometimes it's in the middle of the road, that'll bite you. Sits in the shadows under a tree, and all that moisture just feeds it, and it grows some nasty moss. Those guys must be enjoying a shoot, getting some lead therapy. See, I've got to stop with this habit of touching that gear shift. I think, you know what? I think I know why. Yep. So in rally mode, I had set this to not use the speed shifter, the quick shift. And it was precisely for the reason that, I'm moving around and my boot's going to be a big klutzy boot and touch that gear shift, the shift lever, and every time I do that, it cuts the ignition, stalls, the bike for just a millisecond. And that's not what I want. So the other day I added an accessory and unplugged the battery and it reset everything. Is there a hunting season on that I'm not aware of? We got a lot of hound hunter trucks out here. Maybe they're just training their dogs. I don't know. Maybe it's turkey season. No idea. We'll find out though. See that, back to that green moss. We're coming in here through these corners where the trees overgrow, and you get into this moisture like right here, and that moss grows where it sits and holds water, and it's everywhere. And until the summer comes and it dries out and dies, it's just going to be snot. So stay off that stuff. Otherwise you'll be on your head. You don't want that. Yeah, it's busy out here. Big old tank traps on the roads on the side there. There has been a lot of effort to block people out of different little trails and roadways. It's kind of a shame. Okay. We are doing good here. I don't let's see, we've gone 25 miles today. So I've gone about 40 because I had to meet Dan and Abby. And here's the other thing, getting back to the KTM. The seat's comfortable. My butt's okay. Part of it's standing for a little bit. Gave the gluteus maximus a little break. But no, this is not a bad seat. This is the stock seat on the Adventure R. I've given a lot of thought to getting the rally seat because it's flat, but it's also taller. And I'm not a shorty, but I'm not tall at 5'10". And oh, got some vibrations there. Okay. Gotta think about where you're gonna put your kickstand and this stuff.